We're here at Bylong,
We are.
and Tim's going to give us a quick squizzy through his Triton over here. So, just look in the back first, mate. What do you got in here?
Drifter drawers, fridge slide. I wanted the fridge slide above. I wanted 2 drawers and the fridge on top, but because of the crappy, to say the least, factory canopy with a very low roof height,
Roger.
I couldn't have the fridge on top. I wouldn't have been able to get a fridge in and out. So they suggested to do it this way, and then to box the fridge in so that once you load it up, you slide the fridge out, or your crap doesn't fall in behind it and you have to unload to get it open. It's good, except for, again, because of the crappy side access through the canopy, you hit the brakes and go around the corner and everything goes in and around the front of the fridge slide.
Okay, yep.
You then got to lean in through your little crappy side windows to push stuff out and shove it out. That's the biggest thing that I don't like. The canopy itself lets everything else that's in here down.
So this is the factory canopy?
Yes, yep, Mitsubishi standard.
Yep.
Not cheap, but Mitsubishi standard.
When you say not cheap, how much?
2 or 2.2, I think, is what it was.
Do you know what an aftermarket's worth?
Anything from sort of 3 to 5.5. Of course, the one that I want's 5.5.
Yep.
That's ARB, heavy duty roof rack load on it. Central locking for your car is also hooked up to your rear and side opening. So, but you know, you pay for it.
And obviously that's not with this, it's just key lock.
No, yeah, this is just key lock.
Just manual.
So it's, you know, it's a bit of a bugger. Does what it's got to do, but it just lets down the whole system I've got here, and the wife hates it.
Happy wife, happy life. Water down here.
Yeah, so across the front, almost in front of the fridge slide, there's a poly water tank built in under the floor, 55 litres. And that's another downside of it. The filler is actually under this side wing. So filler's up the front there. You see a little black cap.
Ah, right up there. Okay, wow.
The clear pipe that's running up to the top's just a breather, and I actually raised it up and put some Celastic up to the top there.
So where was the breather in here?
The breather was kind of coiled around that little corner brace.
Yeah.
And when it was full and you do any off-roading, it was just squirting water out of it all over the place.
In your canopy? I thought
yes.
Breather was outside, but
no. Okay. Well, raised up there, I've only ever had it squirt once, and it was only a very minimal amount anyhow.
What's the chain for?
Just for the dogs.
Okay.
Or for me when I'm in trouble.
Right.
When the wife reminds me how much she hates the canopy. A gravity feed to a tap at the back here.
Yep.
So you can pull this out, and you know, 55 litres, and we always fill that up out of bottled water, so that's drinking water only.
Okay.
Of course, we've used it for other stuff.
So all your hose is drinking grade water.
Yep.
Drinking grade hose.
It's a little bit of storage under the side there. I got my tool bag, a wall for my awning. I've got the King's awning on the side of the car, and that's just a wall for it, single wall in the bag.
A floor up the front, is it?
The
next bag,
orange bags, funnel and a hose for filling up the water tank.
Yep.
I used to actually run the hose out the side window and fill it up from outside, but I'd have to have someone in here holding it, and I actually just found it easier for me to get in here, lay down with a 15 litre bottled water, and just put the funnel into the filler and just pour it in. It's much
Is it a bladder or a tank?
Tank,
right.
poly.
So is that part of the drifter install?
Yep. That's an option you can get. So you can either get longer drawers, or you can get the water tank built into it. But that's shorter draw, but
that's where they put that filler as standard.
Yeah, my plan is when I get a decent canopy is to actually run a hose to an external filler.
Okay.
And breather will be, you buy one, so you flip open the cap, and you got your cap for your filler and a small breather above it. Which
now, I guess it's squizzy your fridge. Now I got the Giant.
Yep. Is it eBay job?
It wasn't. But mine's same as your Campanions and all that sort of stuff. I think they're all just different colours and rebadged or whatever. Probably all from the same shop.
Well, it runs is it Danfoss compressor?
Yep.
So I mean, for that aspect of it, they reckon they're really good. We've never had any dramas with this. This has been in this car since we've had it, so 2 and a bit years.
Yep.
So it's all full of beer at the moment. So you can get quite a bit in there. That's 2 cans high stacked in there at the moment.
So internally, and sort of this sort of section here, all this looks nearly identical to mine.
Yeah.
Did this have the baskets in it as well?
It
white
did,
baskets,
but I actually...
little one and a big one?
No, just one.
Okay.
Had just one in it, but we run it once and just found it to be a pain in the arse. And if anything, it takes away from what you can carry in it.
You certainly lose a bit of space, I know I do. But what I like about having that in there, especially if I'm packing bags or something like that, it keeps that space between what you've got in there, especially if it's bags that are going to go hard up against it, block it, the circulation air. But with cans, you're pretty much
what
right,
we do, we
got a second one
exactly the same as this one
over there in the camper.
So either that, or we will run one as a fridge, one as a freezer. So
Did you throw that dust in there on top, or just?
Yeah, no, that's aftermarket, that dust.
Right.
It gets, there's no seal around the tailgate, so you can see from in here the dust that you get. Every now and then I actually get my air blower and stick it underneath the drawers, and mate, the crap that blows out of that is horrendous. So Drifter also fitted the Baintech system, so this is just a battery monitor and two SIG sockets and a USB outlet. So, and it's got a low voltage override, so if you've got stuff plugged in here and the voltage gets too low,
nice.
It'll shut itself off, and then you can just flick this switch here and it'll continue working again. So
alright, now your compressor over here on the right.
So I built in, it's got, I can't show you it because I've got all crap on top of this side wing.
That's right.
It's four-wheel drive Super Center Thumper.
Thumper 1 or Thumper 2?
One of the first ones. Yep, Series 1. I didn't like the way the power switch was on the compressor, and the actual gauge itself is right near your wheel, so you had to run back to the compressor, turn it off, run back to your wheel, check it, run. It was a pain. I used it once.
I think we all know that.
Yes. So I got a good friend of mine, although he's a Nissan owner, he's still a friend. He's a guru with electronics, so he hooked up our remote control system. So I just got a main switch here that powers up the system, and then the remote just turns it on and off, and it's great. And I just keep this in the drawer, the air hose in the drawer. And we've never had any dramas with it whatsoever. I also keep under that side wing old Army issue ammo box, and that's got tyre plugs, tyre foam, patches, all the stuff that I don't have to get too often, which as you can see, because I've got shovels and axes and stuff live here because you can't access it very easy.
Is this hose long enough? That's the standard one, that come with it?
And that'll do all four on the car and also both on the camper. Assorted and associated crap. This is all standard Drifter. Comes with a divider as well, but I didn't use the divider. This here is a sliding drawer because I've got so much crap in here. So up the front lives all the recovery gear, winch controllers, remote controller.
And because you drive a Mitsubishi, you don't need that.
No, that's why. Look how clean it is. It's all brand new. They've never been used. Well, that's been used for collecting firewood.
And I say all the gear, no idea.
Yeah, that's right. So, which I love, slide out table. So when you're cooking, when I use this going hunting for just me and a friend, I'm usually just swagging it, and I take a little butane burner. I usually have this out here, butane burner there. So I do my cooking here, preparation up there, fridge is right there.
Now that's got the legs underneath, so it's standalone.
Good because you can bring it all the way out, legs underneath it.
It's actually a good length table. What, 3-4 foot?
I don't know, it's almost as big as you. How tall are you?
Yeah. About that.
Like Drifter, even though they can do whatever you want, they tend to have a certain spec, certain size. I actually seen another couple of sets of drawers when I went up to have this fitted in their little warehouse that had a similar setup to this, with a single drawer and box over the fridge. Because a lot of Canopies these days, factory, have this same problem that I had. So.
Well, when I did the Delica build, that was actually the motivation for me, putting just one of those small plastic, moulded tables in the back. So I could just pull it out and use it, but I don't have the room in the Pajero, unfortunately.
My El Cheapo eBay stuff, I spend money where I need it and I don't where I don't. So they've been pretty good. The Canopy's only got a 70 kilo load rating, so you put anything decent up there and you're losing 15-20 kilos of your load rating just in your cage, your rack.
Are they the same model, same brand, whatever?
Same, yep. Bought them, I think both at the same time, actually.
eBays or something?
So, yeah, eBay jobs.
And what do they go for, roughly?
Oh, they were cheap as, maybe 70 or 80 bucks delivered each.
Okay, they're not a bad looking rack, though.
Had to put them together. the corners are actually held together by this little plastic bit.
Okay.
So, you know, you can see that flex in there, just
okay,
a little pull on it.
So you're not really tying down to the side and really...
No, and you'd be crazy if you were to tie something down over the top of this. I generally go down and hook up to these crossbars.
Okay.
Or at the most these, the long supporter slats here.
Okay.
Made up the brackets to hold these on, so they're standard Mitsubishi crossbars.
Yep.
And then I made up some brackets here to hold it on. This here, I think it's got 100 kilos on the standard roof racks. So most of our loading is in the front, and then our camp chairs and the light stuff go in the back.
Yep.
Light bars, 4-drive super centre. I actually come up with a bright idea to run the wiring down through the snorkel. Also got my auto elect because I'm electronically retarded. When I got in to put this plug in here, so when I take the rack off, I can just undo the plug. I got in to break the tab out of here, so if I come past a stick and it grabs it, it's just going to break that away rather than tearing wires out.
Nice.
So
now, have you had a look at it today?
What's the bugs?
No.
Oh yeah, it's got a bit of moisture. Yeah, all right.
I had one from Sunny online. I don't know if you know Sunny. Does
I remember you
lights. I bought a heap of stuff.
You sent it back and they replaced
mate,
it.
I got some water in it. It actually knocked out a couple of the LEDs.
Well, I've had that for 2.5 years or thereabouts now, so I'm not sure I'm going to get it.
That almost looks like the exact same model that I had on the Delica. So
yeah, well, that's the first time I've ever had moisture in it, to be honest. So 4-drive Super Centre VMS stuck on the dash.
Oh yeah, we meant to talk about that.
I find them pretty handy. Got a lot of different maps and different mapping software in it. Comes standard with I think 7 different mapping softwares.
But none of those maps showed anything here for bowling, right?
It shows the track in, but none of the actual tracks on the property. So to where we are now, or just a little bit from where we are now, the main track in here it showed, yep. And that was on the off-road, because it's got on-road and off-road mapping. Okay. Topographic maps.
In saying that, I went through about 4 or 5 different maps that I had on my GPS, and not one of them had anything either.
Yeah,
so.
Yep.
Now the snorkel, that
factory.
Fair dinkum.
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
It's a raised air intake, not a snorkel.
I was going to say, it's interesting that it's one piece up to here. Normally the factory one, just so you've got a couple of joins in it, which makes it a lot
in behind the guard here, there's a couple of joins there, and I think there's just some crappy foam there, but it's not waterproof. I've had water come up over the windscreen before, just a quick splash through, and when I checked my air filter, it was wet.
Wow.
If I'd have crawled through it, I would probably have been drinking water. Yeah, it was quite wet. But having said that, I went reasonably quick through just a big deep splash.
As you do,
and the water come up the screen, so there's a fair chance that it actually gulped a bit of water up through the intake itself. But I have had it apart when I run the wire and down through it. I had to take a bit of it apart on the inside there, and the joins are there. You know, if you're doing a splash, you'll be right. If you're waiting, mate, you're going to drink water. Yeah.
What's your shockies and stuff? You got 2-inch lift?
Ironman 2-inch. So heavy duty front springs, which were a mistake. Shouldn't have done that.
Why is that? Why do you say that?
Because of the rear overhang on these, and because of having the drawers in and the constant weight on the back.
Yep.
It's actually kind of seesawed and reversed the weight gain that you get with a steel bull bar and the winch. So of course when you tell them when you're going to have a steel bull bar and a winch, they tell you to put load rated front end on it. But I think because of the weight that I've got on the back and the overhang, the way the weight's sitting there, the front's really stiff.
That's a Triton
corrugations
thing.
And bumpy
but that's
roads.
A Triton thing though, isn't it, with the overhang?
Oh yeah, they make them have a great turning circle, but they do that because they bring the back wheels in. Every other ute in the class has got a bigger turning circle. Yeah. They don't have the overhang. So
shocks and coils are
shocks
all...
and coils,
they're
foam cell shocks. You get a few options with them, which I like, and again, I should have optioned for the height, but standard load rating on the front springs. But I went with what was recommended, which, don't always...
That's interesting that you say that, because I've gone heavy duty front and back with the intention of putting the bar on and the battery and everything in the back, and that feels good to me.
But again, you don't have the overhang.
Dynamics of the car.
So tyres are bigger than standard. I went as big as I could, that the tyre, my tyre guide said I could get on without them scrubbing out. They have taken quite a bit of power and quite a bit of the low range, low speed
and fuel economy
because of the bigger economy's rubbish. 7.9 is the comparative rate. I wouldn't get that if I pushed it off a cliff and left it running.
Yeah.
I really don't think so. I think the best we've got is about 11.5.
Okay.
And that was empty, cruising, freeway.
That being said, though, your 7.9 or 8 or whatever, which nobody ever gets, is no bull bar, no racks, nothing in the back.
Yep.
Yeah,
since the day we got it, we had the bar fitted from the dealer before we picked it up. Had nothing on the roof. But yeah, we had the bull bar fitted, canopy fitted, tow bar fitted, and the snorkel fitted from the dealer. But yeah, we've never got that economy ever.
All right, so since you like Super Centre so much, the lights, are they the...
Four drive Super Centre, they come in 9-inch, 7-inch.
Yep.
I'm always down for the inches.
Yep,
so I went for 9.
Yep.
Dobinson's bar, that was just, when we got this, it was actually not long after the MQ Triton first come out. So there wasn't a great deal of options at that stage available. And Dobinson's was the first one that came up with a winch compatible, fog lights, nice looking bull bar. So that's why we went with that. I wanted something that was winch compatible. I actually had the winch in the box at home.
Ready to go for the bar?
But we couldn't. Our old car, we had a winch bull bar for, but because of where the intercooler was in the old car, which is a Great Wall V200, we couldn't actually get the winch in there. There was no clue. We had to relocate the intercooler, and I just went, you know what, bugger it. I even had the bull bar off the Great Wall and had that bolted in, and when I went to put it on, went, oh, this is a waste of time. So I put them up because I was worried about if I'm winching from any kind of angle, all it takes is a little touch when this what's it called, Dyneema rope's underweight.
Yep.
If it touched that, pop, it's gone.
I find that really interesting that they've got that set in so far.
Yeah, I wanted to go for a roller horse, but they kind of recommend against it with the pinching problems with this Dyneema rope rather than a steel cable. But yeah, so I just doubled them up. I bought some high tensile bolts, put them in myself, and then just doubled up the horse. And you know, I've never had to use a winch in anger anyway because it's a Mitsubishi and it's awesome.
Just the fact that it's so far, it's so deep, isn't it? I mean, you've got a couple of inches there.
That's right. So I've seen some different ones, and they don't have that kind of depth in them. No. But you know, the bar's pretty solid, pretty stable. I've had it off. I fitted the winch in there myself, and then just got it wired up. I won't buy me auto elec.
Okay.
I also didn't like where I had to run the cables through here. I had to put some. Here's the alien dog giving me some love. Hello, mate. Hello. Don't sneeze in my face. Go on, bugger off.
Come on.
Come on, bugger off. Good boy.
So where's your...
so I had to put some just garden hose over it for a bit of insulation. You can see if I pull that back there, I don't know if you can see how far it's already worn into it. Okay. So, and I've got that in a few spots where I've covered it with garden hose where it runs in around the back anywhere I thought it was going to rub. So that's the Dominator, what, 12,000? 1200 Dominator X, I think they're called, in £12,000. So,
and yet to use it in anger, but we'll be doing that sometime this weekend.
We'll give it a crack.
In theory.
Buddy, Joshua.
Control or no remote control?
It's got a cable and it's got a remote control.
Okay. Now, to use remote control, you've got to plug in
little receiver type thing. Yeah.
Okay, so it's not built in.
So I've had Fraser Island give me a little bit of salt issues. One of the pins there is a bit corroded. I don't know if you can see it is damp there because I spray it with WD-40 just to try to stop it from getting too bad. And I also, because they're all open on the back here, I give all up in the back of it. When I come back from Fraser Island, I think I went through 3-4 cans of WD-40 and whatever other spray that said rust prevention. I should have probably done it beforehand.
Should have mixed up. Can't get into that clutch.
It can, but it's difficult. It's on the right here, so you got to kind of, I don't know if you can see, up in.
There's a bugger.
You got to contort up in.
Yep.
And you can get it, but you have to have a bit of wrist strength, which I'm pretty good with, luckily.
Yeah, you'd be right. You'd need to use your right hand, though, I imagine.
Yeah,
You know, you can
turn it slightly.
Yeah, I had to rotate mine 90, which would put it at least down the front for you, maybe.
Well,
I don't know whether you'd have a clearance issue there.
I don't know how many bolts are on it, whether I could rotate at 45.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know if the bolts are in a pattern like that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you know, when I put it in, I was just getting it in. So.
Yeah, as you do.
King's awning, 2 by
The-
2.5 by 2.5. Just one of the zips off it, but
Yeah.
again, I think those things just can't handle the bit of corrosion, bit of rough weather. So no, it's been pretty good. I've had to reinforce it actually where it rivets onto the back end plate.
Yeah,
These
yeah.
little tiny headed rivets.
Yeah.
And just the vibration driving down the road, half of them started to pull out. So I ended up one day just taking the whole awning off and
Yeah.
replacing, I think, every single one of those rivets with some big, I think 10 mil or more rivets that I use doing stuff on my truck.
Okay.
And oh no, these were eBay jobs as well.
Yeah, they're only about 30, 40 bucks.
If you have a look at Alan's one, I think his eBay as well, but they're much bigger, and the factory ones were like that as well.
Okay, I'm chasing the bigger ones, not the low profile.
Yeah, I didn't like it. You know, I'm a smoker, so you know I like to have a little bit of space here to ash me stinky durry. Yep. Having said that,
but you're not a tosser, so
no, don't toss. No, you can see me empty bottle in here for the ashtray.
There you go, good boy.
Yep, no tossing. Not very good for having the windows down and it being quiet.
Yeah.
They're really noisy. Big gap at the front here, and they don't sort of block out much. But standard side steps, which I've had to repair a couple of times, and they've got a bit of a workout today. They've touched the ground a couple of times. So. Side step.
Oh.
There's that side step. It's just been gentle touches, and it hasn't damaged anything yet.
And so no under body protection either we were talking about?
No, there's standard sump guard on it's like tin foil.
And where's your battery, Tim?
Battery built into the floor at the front, second battery, and it runs a BC-DC controller.
Yep.
I don't know, you might be able to...
Do you know what brand your controller is?
Red Arc, everything's Red Arc. It's got a Red Arc brake controller as well. I'll just open this and you might be able to jam your camera through here, and I'll... DC controller on that far back wall.
It's you're not getting in there anytime soon though, are you? Like if you got to get in and work there.
Yep. You load it up and your stuff. You can't get
What size battery you say? 100?
120 I think it is amp hour. So it's not a second starter battery. It'll only draw from the running alternator.
Yep.
It won't
now
put power back into your ignition system.
Your charge controller though, take a solar input?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Just don't have a solar.
Which I don't use it. I've actually got a wired in my own because my solar panels, if you've got a built-in regulator on your solar panels, you don't need to run them through a controller.
Yep.
So this is actually just straight hardwired to the battery, so that's either power out or solar in.
Okay.
So I just Anderson plug my solar panels into that. We find because it's black, even with the windows open in summer, the fridge works its arse off and the battery goes flat. So when we're at home and we're going to be there for a bit, we plug the solar panels into it, just to put a bit extra power into it. 300 watt inverter.
Yep.
I stuck that in there. I put the double adapter in there because it's the only double adapter that you can get that will fit in.
A single.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a 300 watt. It's a
brand? Just a Super Cheap or something?
I think I want the Repco. Yeah, Repco.
Okay.
So modified sine wave. So whether you want to...
You didn't want
We've actually... I've had my laptop plugged into it and I've never had any problems. So I've run a jigsaw off it.
Yep.
Like electric jigsaw when I've been
only
cutting
300
some
watt
wood.
though?
No, well the jigsaw was 600 watt, but I just didn't give it full juice.
Okay.
So I suppose you can do the same with an electric drill or anything else electric that you can stage up the power usage on.
Okay.
I'm sure if I punched it full throttle, it would have...
Ring gear. Yeah. So do you like the Triton?
Yeah, good. Like it.
So lower
gearing of it's too high. That's partly because of the bigger tyres.
Yep.
Even on the road, I mean, we hardly use 6 gear, 6-speed manual, and we hardly use 6. And I know, as you've seen today, I stalled it just in low range because I was actually trying to ride the brake a little bit, idling in first in low range, and stalled it out because I just wanted to go that little bit slower than what it was wanting to go.
But Gero's the same.
Yeah,
like
so if you were to... and you probably wouldn't, but if you really wanted it for serious off-road stuff, you'd change gearing in it and you do quite a few things, but at the end of the day, you start spending that much money on it, you may as well buy a different brand vehicle. So, it's good. Good so
price,
far. We haven't had any dramas with it, and it's doing its job. It's comfortable, drives well, and it goes anywhere that we've wanted it to go, really, so far.
So far, so good, but we'll
see if we
test that out this weekend.
Yeah, that's it. That's good.
All right. Say hi, Memphis.
Hi.